All right, guys, so let's talk about Maura Murray. So Maura was last seen in Haverhill, New Hampshire by a truck driver who offered her assistance as her vehicle was stuck in a ditch. She denied it. She didn't want any help, and so he left. And he lived right down the road. So when he got to his house, he decided to go ahead and call 911 anyways. When the police arrived, Maura was gone. Her belongings were still in the car. Her car was still there, but she was gone, and she's never been seen again. Now, Maura was a star athlete in high school, and she had a lot of college offerings based on academics and sports. However, she chose to go to West Point, a military college. Now, her second year in, she decided that military life was not going to be for her, so she left for the University of Massachusetts to study nursing. Now, the day of Maura's disappearance, which was February 9th, 2004, her professors received an email from her. She explained that she would be away for a week due to a death in the family, which Maura's family later would confirm was not true. Now, a little after 3 p.m., Maura was spotted at an ATM where she withdrew $280. Then she drove to a liquor store where she purchased about $40 worth of alcohol, and then she drove her 96 Saturn toward New Hampshire. Now, no one was aware of Maura's plans, nor did they know why she would even be headed to New Hampshire. Between 7 and 7:30 p.m., Butch Atwood was driving his bus towards Haverhill, New Jersey, and that's when he came across the car that was stuck in the ditch, which just happened to be Maura's. Now, when Butch offered to call authorities, Maura refused. She said AAA was on the way. She didn't want any help, and Butch decided to drive home. But once he arrived home, as we know, he did call the police. Now, when he called 911, he did confirm that there was no visible sign of injury or blood on Maura. Now, the first noted arrival from a police officer was at 7:45 p.m. Notice I said noted, and keep that in mind. By the time that the first officer got there, Maura was gone. The vehicle was locked, and there was a box of wine behind the driver's seat. Maura's cell phone and wallet were missing from the car, but everything else was left behind. There was a significant amount of damage to the front of Maura's car. Now, tracker dogs were sent out to the area, but they lost Maura's scent within 100 yards. There was a witness who also made a 911 call, which we'll talk about in a minute. She said that she last saw Maura and that she did seem as if she was intoxicated at the scene. So it was assumed that maybe Maura hitched a ride from the accident scene and drove off. There was no sign of a struggle, no indication of a fight that occurred at the location, and there were no footprints in the snow. Now, here's where it gets weird. The first noted cop arrived at 7:46. However, that witness, Faith Westman, claims that a cop actually showed up at 7:37.